MMA Meltdown on the Fight Network continues. Let's break down UFC Fight Night 60's main event with a regular contributor to the program, one of our favorite guests and yours. We really appreciate his generosity in hooking us up with the books. And I know you guys have really enjoyed it. We get nothing but positive and rave reviews. Let's welcome Kuhn into the fold. It's always a pleasure, Reed. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing well, enjoying a week off, and now we're going to get back into the swing of things.
Well, that's right. We got some research to do on the prelims with this card. A lot of people are talking about the main event. We just had Tim Elliott on the program. He's taking on Zach Makovsky. That's going to be an intriguing fight earlier in the card. But this main event, is. It wasn't supposed to be, obviously. It was supposed to be Stephen Thompson. Thompson's out. Benson Henderson is in. He moves up to 170 pounds. And the line's been bouncing around for this fight. And initially, it sort of surprised me. Figured, hey, Brandon Thatch, 2 fights in the UFC. You got Benson Henderson, former champion. He's got the pedigree, the reputation, the resume. But the more that I dig in here, the more I'm starting to understand why Brandon Thatch is the favorite.
Yeah, well, he's just shown nothing but violence from what we've seen, and it's a stark contrast. Here's a guy, he is a finisher, period. Only one of his fights has gotten out of the first round, and that was way back, in early Strikeforce days. And then you've got Benson Henderson. He's been at a high level for a very long time, and he has had to grind out a lot of close decisions, including plenty of controversial ones, which have gone either way. So these are 2 very different style guys, and then you're elevating Henderson in a weight class. There's a lot of uncertainty and risk here, and quite frankly, I have no idea what we're really going to see when these 2 guys go at it, because there's just so many weird factors going on. But at least we do know that of the styles of these 2 guys, and everybody wants to see if Thatch is really the real deal, that he can do what he's done in the past to someone as good as Benson Henderson. And
you're right. He's racked up the knockouts, and, he fought some tough guys. He's fought some tough guys on the regional circuit out of Montreal. He's trained with TriStar. He's from Colorado. But, you look at his UFC wins. Edwards is a tough kid, man. Paul Thiago's not the fighter that he once was, but he got absolutely destroyed. Everything that he throws is with bad intentions, Thatch. He's a big welterweight as well. He's a big dude, man. He's a big dude at 6'2". Probably walks around at about $195, 200. So we got the altitude factor. He's actually from Denver, Colorado. So I got to believe that he's more adjusted to the altitude than Benson is. And I don't really have a problem with Benson moving up, but can you put on the type of bulk and size as quickly as Benson's trying to do this when he fought on January the 18th?
Well, Henderson does carry a lot of weight, and he cuts aggressively to make 155. So I guess this is a situation where he just won't be cutting as much. But you mentioned the size. That is a big deal here. Henderson looked best when he was facing guys like Frankie Edgar, who were smaller than he was, and he was able to push him around and dictate the pace of the fight. That is not the case here. He is going to be outsized by Brandon Thatch, and I don't think Henderson, he had a little bit of trouble with Cowboy Cerrone in the last fight, having to move backwards and, try to throw a lot of kicks at him just to stay busy. This is a situation, Thatch is going to have a reach advantage. He's going to be bigger and stronger. You mentioned the altitude. He trains at Grudge Training Center. Those guys live and breathe at high altitude, so he should be fine, although we don't necessarily know what to expect after the first round with Thatch. I don't think conditioning is going to be an issue with Henderson, though. He just won't be cutting as much weight. He's gone 5 rounds plenty of times. He's always fit. I think the size is the more important factor here.
Yeah, that's unfortunately, we've only got about two minutes left here. But when I look at this fight, and I used to be a big Benson guy. Unfortunately, I was on him both times against Anthony Pettis, and I lost. But I took him against Edgar both times. I've been successful with Henderson, but Henderson, to me, he's at his best when he's bullying you, when he's pressing up against the fence and he's hitting you with the knees, and the dirty boxing and the clinch game, the grappling type of game. I don't think he's a great wrestler. I don't really think he's going to be taking Thatch down, and he certainly doesn't have the advantage standing up. So it's crazy to say on paper that a guy with 2 fights in the UFC is this seems on paper this dominant against Henderson, but my money's going to be on Brandon Thatch, man. And another thing is Henderson hasn't been the same since these losses to Pettis. And then he got knocked out, and he got married. He just doesn't seem to be the same hungry fighter that he once was. The floor's yours on the way out here. We got to wrap it up, but you can wrap this up, Reed.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on this one. I mean, if I had to pick a lean here, it would be towards Brandon Thatch. I do think the size is just too much, and he's going to be too strong. But lots of uncertainty. It's not something I'm going to throw too much money behind because Henderson is still dangerous, especially on the mat.
There it is, Reed Kuhn, Fightnomics.com. Always a pleasure, Reed.
All right, thank you.
There's Reed Kuhn with us, rapid fire. We're going to come back, take a break, and we got those wicked videos of the week. Yes, they're wicked. They're that damn good. Don't go anywhere.